Several auto rickshaws, or tuk-tuks, have been seized by the Land Transport Authority near Lim Chu Kang Muslim Cemetery, following reports of unregistered vehicles parked in the area. According to Shinmin Daily News, the vehicles were seen without number plates and are believed to be unregistered. Concerned passers-by voiced fears over potential safety risks if these vehicles are misused. During a visit on 13th May, reporters observed 4 to 5 tuk-tuks, with nearby workers explaining that they belong to tombstone makers and groundskeepers. A 66-year-old worker said the vehicles, in use since 2020, help transport materials affordably along the cemetery's internal roads. Another owner, aged 60, said he relied on his tuk-tuk to carry tools due to a leg injury, stressing it was used only within the cemetery. One tuk-tuk owner said he spent 3,800 Singapore dollars on a solar-powered model from China, with a backup battery that lasts up to 4 days. He estimated about 10 such vehicles in the area. LTA confirmed it had taken enforcement action. All motor vehicles must meet vehicle approval and registration requirements before they can be used on roads, it stated. Investigations are ongoing. Under the Road Traffic Act, offenders may face fines or imprisonment. The news prompted a wave of public comments on a Mothership Facebook post, with many questioning the LTA's actions. Some users drew comparisons with electric buggies, commonly used by town council workers to collect rubbish, as well as by staff at golf courses and resorts. One user questioned whether the electric buggies used by town council workers to collect rubbish from older HDB blocks were also illegal, pointing out that they don't have registration plates. Others echoed this sentiment, suggesting that the authorities might as well seize all three-wheelers used for rubbish collection in HDB estates. Others commented that if golfers are allowed to use buggies, cemetery workers should be allowed to use auto rickshaws as well, noting there's nothing wrong with their use since they are not on public roads. One user remarked, "Might as well seize all the electric buggies driving around resorts and Changi Airport too. And those forklifts operating inside industrial buildings also can seize, right?" Some netizens felt the enforcement was excessive, especially since the tuk-tuks were used only within the cemetery grounds and not on public roads. They use it for cemetery work. Why can't they be left alone? One person wrote. Another added, "It's been there for a long time, used only within the cemetery premises for workers to load their stuff and move around the area." Others defended the workers, highlighting their limited mobility and the practical need for such vehicles. The workers don't speed and really only drive around the cemetery area. I think they're much safer than the other vehicles around there. One user commented. Another suggested that if the LTA intends to restrict such vehicles, it should first provide alternative transport options for workers who depend on them for their livelihoods. A number of netizens also accused the LTA of double standards, noting that personal mobility devices and personal mobility aids, which are often seen on public paths and roads, pose greater safety risks yet remain unseized. One user compared tuk-tuks to road bikes, noting both lack COE and road tax. Some commenters pointed out that cyclists use public roads and often break traffic rules but face only small fines. In contrast, tuk-tuks used solely within the cemetery were seized without warning. They argued that while most cyclists ride for recreation, the tuk-tuk owners rely on their vehicles for work. Some have questioned what they see as double standards after tuk-tuks were seized near Lim Chu Kang Cemetery. However, the LTA has previously acted against other non-compliant vehicles. In 2024, it took enforcement action against 10 PMA users and impounded 4 devices for road use violations. PMDs must meet strict limits on weight, width, and speed, with offenders facing fines of up to 10,000 Singapore dollars or 6 months jail. Commenters pointed out that electric carts used by public institutions often lack registration plates, suggesting possible exemptions. Many argue similar flexibility could be shown to cemetery workers using tuk-tuks off-road for their jobs.